Generally get up about 5:30. It takes me about 5 minutes from opening my eyes to being outside. I don't stop for a brew or anything like that. I just get cracking. We milk 220 cows all the year round, and we've also got all the young stock, the baby calves, right through to milk cows. It's rewarding seeing cows which you've bred from your own stock, having calves and coming into milk themselves.
The thick green grass and rolling hills of the Ribble Valley in Lancashire, England, is home to John Lund's dairy farm. The 60-year-old farmer has a strict routine each and every morning. But by the evening, it's not the mooing of cows ringing in John's ears, but rather something very different. John's big passion in life is BriSCA Formula One stock car racing.
Well, I think the adrenaline gets going, and you go out on track, and it's a cold, wet night sometimes, you know, and you think, what the hell am I doing here? But once you get going around that first corner, I think the adrenaline and excitement kicks in, and you're aware, you know, you're doing your best to catch whoever's in front and not be overtaken by those behind. The objective is try and win, you know, but it takes some doing.
BriSCA F1 is the pinnacle of oval track racing on both tarmac and shale in the UK. The cars are single-seater, custom-built, with most carrying a big block 650 brake horsepower V8 Chevrolet engine. The first race took place in 1954 at London's New Cross Stadium. It was such a success that within a few months the sport had spread across the country, and in 1957 the British Stock Car Association, or BriSCA, was formed. With it came a set of racing rules and technical specs for cars as they became faster and more refined.
It's an outlet. Farming can be a bit, I won't say mundane, but I think you need a change, you know, it's definitely that. You get away from the farm, spend time with other people from other walks of life. You get to compete as well, and building the cars yourself, you're always looking for an edge to try and beat everybody else. So I spend a lot of time thinking about it really when I'm driving the tractor perhaps, and nothing much else to think about. I'll be thinking about how I'm going to alter the car to make it better.
It was in the early 70s that John discovered the sport with his friends at his local track in Nelson. He was instantly hooked. With the engineering skills he'd picked up at agricultural college, he set about building his own car by studying and watching other drivers in the pits. In March 1976, at the age of 22, John made his debut in Rochdale, finishing 6th in a consolation race. For the early part of his career, John showed talent, but his self-built car went through many upgrades as he learned through trial and error what the best setup for the car should be.
I started winning a few races in the 80s. Our local track at Nelson had closed by then, but my favourite track was Bellevue in Manchester. And in 1987, the World Final was there, and I'd qualified on the second row. The car was just perfect for the conditions that night, and I managed to win it. You know, it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
That first World Championship triumph was the start of John's legacy, as he went on to win a total of 8 world titles, a feat that has never been equalled. Now, well into his 39th season, there are no signs of the keys being hung up anytime soon.
I'm still competitive. I still like to go and feel that I can compete on a level playing field with the rest of the drivers. A lot of young ones have come in now, sons of lads that I used to race against years ago.
One of those lads is Frankie WAINMAN Jr., who has over 1,000 race wins to his name. Like his father before him, he's enjoyed a competitive but friendly rivalry with John. Frankie began his career in the same year that John won his first World Championship. He's since become one of the biggest names in the sport, winning the National Points Championship 13 times. But despite his incredible talent, the 43-year-old Yorkshireman has only managed to win 2 world titles.
I've been unlucky with world finals. I've been leading quite a few, had engine problems, been taken out with quite a few. I've been involved with a lot of world finals, had a lot of good races. I think it's about time I started winning a few more.
Frankie, who competes in New Zealand's Super Stock Series during the UK off-season, is in confident mood going into this year's World Championship. The competition is held at the Brandon Stadium in Coventry in front of almost 10,000 spectators.
Absolutely love it. You know, I'm still up there winning. I've won the European Championship this year. You know, wherever I'm winning and being competitive, you know, I've got a good fan base. A lot of fans want to still see me race, and I'm going to carry on doing it.
The battle for the trophy is between the old boys and the new generation of young drivers who are coming through. Amongst them, last year's world champion, Tom Harris.
To win. I've got my work cut out. Didn't qualify for my semi-final. I got put in on the first corner and got damage on my car, so I'm actually starting dead last day as defending world champion, so I've got a lot of work to do.
As defending BriSCA F1 world champion, the roof on Tom Harris's car is coloured gold, and he isn't planning on giving up his crown without a fight.
Oh, it's everything. It's the biggest title in the sport. It means everything to me and my family, and I'm sure to everybody who else wins. You know, it's the biggest thing to win. It's what everybody wants to win.
The World Final is a 25-lap race around a 400-metre oval circuit, with the average time for each lap around 16 seconds. Crowd favourite John LUND can only manage to qualify onto the 14th row and has the more informed drivers ahead of him. As racing gets underway, chaos ensues on the opening lap, as Rob Speak, an early race favourite, is unceremoniously dumped into the fence by rival Dan Johnson. No one is hurt, but the crash ends the chances of many drivers. However, John LUND avoids the trouble and is on the line for the restart, along with American driver Eric Pollard.
The big difference I've found is, in the States, you can commit to the corner and you can set the car sideways and not really have to worry about it. But here, if you commit to the corner and then you get hit, there's a good chance you get taken out. So you really gotta keep the car and keep all 4 wheels underneath you all the time and be prepared for anything.
Eric Pollard has an impressive CV. In America, he races in the IMCA Sport Modified division, and last year, the man from Iowa won the Aftermarket Nationals. Racing is in his blood.
Once you do it once and you get the thrill out of it, and you got, I guess, the need for speed, it's hard to get away from. You know, they say it's a disease, and I guess it is. My goal is to, you know, just to put on a good showing, keep the wheels underneath me and not get taken out, and basically just try and finish all the laps and go from there. I'm sure we'll see a couple cautions, so I think as long as you can finish the race, you're gonna be in a pretty good standpoint by the end.
With the race back underway, the cars are able to put some laps together. But sadly for Eric Pollard, he's unable to keep the wheels underneath him. He finds himself in a tangle with John LUND in car 53 and spectacularly flips out. Unharmed, Eric is able to walk away from the wreckage. It proves to be the last stoppage of the final as the cars begin to spread out on the oval track. Matt Newson's car 16 establishes a healthy lead, but he soon finds himself under pressure from Dan Johnson in car 4. One mistake from Newson allows Johnson in, and as he desperately tries to regain the lead, a more costly mistake allows 4 cars to overtake him. Amongst them is Craig Finnegan in number 55. Having started on the 8th row and taking minimal damage in the early pileups, Finnegan quickly makes his way through the traffic. With only a few laps remaining, Johnson goes wide into the back of a stalled car, allowing Finnegan through. From there, Finnegan holds on and duly takes the checkered flag. It's his maiden world title and makes up for the disappointment of finishing second last year.
Luckily enough for me, it was red flagged at the start because I couldn't stop the car for love nor money, and we decided to, on the restart while we got time, put a set of brake pads in it. And the first 10 laps of the car was okay, and then after halfway come out, it was just brilliant, unreal. The family's had it once and it's nice to have it again.
For dairy farmer John Lund, it was a disappointing race as he finished 12th.
Well, not too good. I got a good start on the first start. On the second start, not too good, but I was still in there. But the car wasn't handling just as well as we'd hoped, so I was struggling. And it, a bit loose on the back, too sideways in the corners, so I half spun once, which didn't help, got tangled up a bit. But we finished.
That 9th world title still eludes John, but his competitiveness and talent remain. And so, for now, he'll go back to his farm and prepare himself for next year at his 40th season in BriSCA Formula 1.
Just enjoy it, I think. Or have crackers, one of the two. Probably both.
Subscribe now to our YouTube channel for the very best of Trans World Sports.